Okay, so Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sofianisa Elma. In this video, I would like to explain about language choice in multilingual communities of AFL context. So, most countries have more than one language that is spoken by a significant portion of the population, and most languages have significant numbers of speakers in more than one country historically. Multilingual communities evolve in a number of ways. One is a result of migration, uh, the voluntary or involuntary movement of people speaking one language into the territory of the people speaking another. And these diverse historical circumstances have produced many different kind of multilingual mixes, sometimes stable and sometimes volatile and short-lived. The most common result of this language contact has been language conflict, producing pressure from one language on speaker of other language to adopt it. This pressure, whether the conscious result of plain policy or the effect of a multitude of unplanned factors, has a product called links to social structure that many people have begun to worry about. The study of language maintenance and of language shift has thus become a central concern of sociolinguists' interest in multilingual societies. Okay, so the next is about language loyalty. Linguistics have noticed that language too are in danger of dying, and for some time have been studying language loyalty, the ability or lack of it of speakers of language to stand up to the pressure of more powerful language. They have expressed distress at the theater fate of immigrant language that are no longer being passed on to children as native language, but are by spoken by a contracting and aging group of adults. Language shifts have been studied in many parts of the world. There are groups that have worked actively to reserve the seemingly inevitable language shift that occurs when small weak languages or the language of marginalized groups come into contact with large powerful language use favored by the majority of dominant groups. So the next is about language and ethnic. One of the most common way identifying person is by his or her language. Because language is inherently involved in socialization, the social group whose language you speak in an important identify group for you. So there are other makers of ethnic identity, such as food or clothes or religion, but language has special role in part because it organized thought and in part because it uh, established social relation. Multilingual societies inevitably face conflict over language choice. Okay, so the next is about language and politics. Language is regularly used in the exercise of political power A government can attempt to control its minority group by banning their language. The use of regional or social dialect by a political leader is often applied to especially ethnic identity. Okay, so the next is about language rights. There are two possible ways of dealing with this. Mostly common anthropological linguistics have worked to preserve in grammar, dictionary, and collection of texts as much of language as possible while there is still one speaker alive. More recently, linguistics have provided support to the speaker of the language their effort as reversing linguistic shift. And the second approach is to focus not on the right of the language as an abstraction but on the right of the speakers of the language. Here may distinguish between the right of speaker of a language to use it and their rights to maintain it by reaching in their children. Okay, so the last is a pidgin and parallels. A pidgin language is one that involves in circumstances where there are limit relations between the speaker of different language, such a market or when there is a special situation of power relation, being a typical of the kind of master-slave relation or localization. In pidgin is social rather than an individual solution. There are cases where individual speakers acquire only a limited control of language in which they need to business. Such, for instance, was the limited knowledge of Navajo developed by white traders. Each speaker made his own mistake and compromise. The term pidgin is better kept for social varieties with established norms, and pidgin involve the mixture of two or more languages. Sometimes the grammatical system is based more or less on one language, and the vocabulary is largely taken from another. In all cases, the grammar is simply, that is to say, certain features of this language are true. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.